Hey everyone, welcome back again. I am Gideon Drake. I write psychological thrillers and dark suspense. And right over here is,
I am J.D. Crist. I write primarily dystopian with romance, but I am taking a little shot at horror coming up.
awesome. And we're here to help the new writers, or maybe even some of the more experienced writers, talking about things that we have learned along our way to get to where we are now. And the thing we wanted to talk about today is, do you need a publisher or can you do this on your own? And I think, and I've had that question asked to me quite a lot. And I'm sure you have too, JD.
Most definitely.
And I think what they're really wanting to know is, are they making a mistake if they go the indie route? Or are they missing out if they don't go traditional? So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, both have their pros and cons. I know for what I wanted for my books that the trad route just it wasn't for me. It took away too much creative control on my end.
And I haven't tried the trad route, but I've talked to a lot of authors who have tried it. I've even talked to several authors who were traditionally published who are now indie publishing for, I think, probably most of the same reasons why we chose the route that we chose. Was that with the traditional route, there is an infrastructure there. You have a team, they do your editing, they do your covers, they do a lot of the stuff for you. Some of them even do a little bit of the marketing for you, but what I've heard from other authors is what they didn't like was that they didn't have the creative control. That they would have to write their stories to fit some certain fit that the publisher was looking for. And they talked about how long it took to get anything completed.
Mhm.
So I think it really depends on how much work you really want to do. And the other thing that I heard a lot from talking to other people, the fact that uh, some people waited like 2 or 3 years and still haven't been picked up by a publisher. And you've got to get an agent, and then that agent kind of goes to the publishers on your behalf and tries to find someone interested in your story. And what if it's 3 or 4 or 5 years later before it gets picked up? Then you got a story sitting on your laptop that you can't tell.
Yeah, that we write these stories to get them out there, and it's just it gets depressing seeing it sitting there for so long.
Yeah,
And then just to turn around and for somebody to send you a contract that has all kinds of beautiful numbers on it, but then you look and you have to change the ethnicity or the sexual orientation or even the location of your story to fit what they believe will be marketable. That's just even more heart-wrenching.
yeah. And then like even the covers, you don't really have a lot of control. They have a cover designer that does the cover that they think is going to sell the best, and you may feel like that it don't fit your story.
Hmm.
And so there is some downfalls to the traditional publishing. But like I said, the upside is that you've got a lot of people who are doing the work for you. So you don't have to do as much work. It just really depends on how much lifting you want to do. But you still have to do a lot of the marketing yourself too, even with that.
Yeah, no matter which route you choose, marketing falls on you.
So on the flip side, let's talk about indie publishing. Um, let's talk about what it looks like if you do everything by yourself. So then you write the story that you want to write. You're not fitting it necessarily to any particular way that's going to be marketable. You're writing your story and telling it how you want to tell it. You got complete control over what your covers look like, and then which is the upside to it. But it is a lot of work doing the publishing. You do have to find your editors, and all of the readers that you find, it's all up to you to find them. So basically, you end up having to learn marketing, and you end up really being an entrepreneur at that point.
Yeah, it becomes a this is your business from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, like I can tell a little bit about what I do. I mean, I work a full time job. I'm going to school. Then I write in my spare time, and on top of that, then I'm on the social media. I do anywhere between 1 to 2 lives a day, just trying to find new readers, talking about the books, and finding people who are interested in it, and then trying to find where all the events are that I can go and do the in person events to meet people in person and help get the book out there. And it is a lot of work. There is not a lot of free time at all. And I'm sure, and I know, JD, I know you do a lot of work yourself. So you want to talk a little bit about, you know, what all you do.
Yeah, I don't have a job outside the house. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I do this in my spare time because I do have a little one. But still, between trying to find time to write, balance the social media, editing books, and being a part of the author community on social media, I also help other authors. So I have all those projects. And then, like Gideon said, finding events to do to help promote still, and promote becomes like on your to-do list. It's like, oh, I'm going to write a little bit and then I'm going to promote. And then I might take a nap and eat something and then I'm going to promote.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, though, you're the marketer, you're the business owner, you're the strategist, and if anything fails, you don't have anybody else to point at but you. And so there's definitely a learning curve. And I think one of the things that some people may think is that being an indie author is the easier way. And if that's what you're thinking, it couldn't be further from the truth. It may be faster and it may be yours, but it definitely demands a lot more from you.
Mentally, time-wise, even financially, it takes a lot more.
A lot more. But both work, both paths work for people, and both paths sometimes fail people too. Because there is a myth that if you go the traditional publishing route, that you'll automatically be successful, and that's not necessarily the case. There's traditional published books that disappear just as fast as some indie ones do,
Mm-hmm.
and the difference is that as an indie author, you see when something isn't working in real time. Where the traditional publishing side, it may be months before you notice anything like that. Because we have a direct connection with the people who read and purchase our books.
I
So,
think that's another big difference is readers like to feel connected to their authors in some way or form. And where we're on the social media and doing the lives, they feel like friends instead of readers. So we're able to judge things and make corrections to what we're doing as needed.
yeah, because we know right away if we're not selling books.
Hmm.
Where the other way, you may not notice it right away. And so it really depends on what kind of responsibility that you want with your business as an author, because that's exactly what it ends up being.
Yeah, because I know both Gideon and I, we've legally made our writing
Mhm.
businesses, so it takes off.
Um, Now, aside from the traditional publisher and going the indie route, there are other options for publishing. Uh, JD could probably speak very well to that. Me personally, I do the indie route. I do all the stuff with me and my family here. You know, the wife, she helps out with a ton of stuff, and my daughter helps out. So I've got a lot of people in the same house as me that's kind of working towards the same goals. And if you want, JD, why don't you talk a little bit about how you do some of your things?
Well, what I do is I wanted to help the indie authors that didn't have that army behind them, and they either couldn't or didn't want to go the trad route. What I did was my publishing company that my numbers are registered through is called Pumpkinhead Publishing, and I will take an indie author's book for no upfront cost, format it, help with covers if needed, help with ARC readers, all the tedious things that can really bog, especially new authors, down. And I'll take care of that. And the only fee that's with it is 10% of profits that the author earns. That's it. I don't want to ask for anything up front, because I know how difficult that is. You have to pay for books and advertising and the ISBN to register, and it adds up quick. And since I'm more established and I have a bit more experience dealing with these things, I take it on for them. They're still considered independents because yeah, it says I'm a publishing company, but really I'm just a friend with a computer who knows a little bit about what
Mhm.
I'm doing. And I let the authors keep 100% of their rights. I don't want to change their stories. Their stories are theirs. I'm just an indie helping an indie.
So yeah, so there are options that are in between, and we definitely appreciate all of the work that you do, JD, helping some of the new authors. I know they're really thankful. I've talked to several of them who are working with you, and they really love it. Uh, but yeah, so for me, it was definitely indie because not because that it's easier, but because I like knowing that if something works, that it was because of something that I did to build it. And if something don't work, then it's something that I can always adjust and learn from. And I think there's power in that.
100%, 100%. Yeah. It, like you said earlier, if it goes wrong, you have no one to blame but yourself. But if it goes right, you get to take all that credit for every little win.
Yeah, I just think there's definitely something different about building your own audience and building your own system and your own momentum. And it may be slower at first, but it compounds. You have to remember that this is a long game. Like I mean, I've been writing for now like probably about 3 going on 4 years or so now, and really been publishing and pushing for the last year and a half. And it's been a slow build to get to where I am now, and it's still constantly growing, and I'm always learning something new.
Yeah, for new authors, I don't want to discourage, but at the same time, you're not going to hit that publish button for the first time and be able to quit your day job the next day. I mean, I know Gideon still has his. It's
Unfortunately,
it's a marathon, so it's going to
yeah,
take a minute.
it definitely is. So if you're new to this, here's what I would tell you. Don't choose a path based on what sounds the most impressive. Choose it based on how you want to work, how you want to grow, and how much ownership you want. At the end of the day, Indie publishing isn't the easy route, but it's definitely the route that you can control.
100%. Very well said.
And whichever route you take, make sure that you're moving forward because the only path that guarantees failure is not finishing your book at all.
I couldn't agree more. I had to remind myself of that all the time. And I mean, and don't forget, even if you do choose, excuse me, just to go straight indie,
Oh,
even if
bless
you
you.
do, thank you, choose to go straight indie, it doesn't mean you're alone. Social media has given us such a way to build a community, not just to look for readers, but other authors that are more than willing to share their knowledge with anyone to help them publish. We're
Yeah,
all
I know
here for the
when
stories.
yeah, when I know when I was starting and there was things I didn't know on the book talk community, I would just reach out and message the authors and say, "Hey, I saw you doing this. How are you doing that?" And they was the ones that I reached out to was really good about, "Oh, this is how I do this or this is how I do this or go here and do this and this is where I get this from." And really helpful. And that's what we're here for
Mhm.
is if you have questions or you have anything, make sure you leave them in the comments for us, and we can definitely we'll take the comments and build on that, and it gives us things for future episodes to talk about to kind of help you out. And that's what we're here for. We had people that helped us out along the way, and we're just here to pay it forward to the other new writers out there.
Yeah, and you can always, we're both very active on TikTok. So if you find us there, feel free to chat us up there. Or let us know what you're needing, and we got this.
Yep,
If we don't know, we'll figure it out.
that's right. If we don't know, we can probably find somebody that does know for you. So that was kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight was just kind of let you see both sides of the coin, so you can make an informed decision on which route you want to go. But you know how we did it, what we're doing, and I just hope that the choice that you pick works out for you. And just remember, it's a lot of hard work. It's more than just writing a book and hitting that publish button. But if you feel overwhelmed, there's people out there just like us that are waiting to help you out.
Well, and just to kind of drive the point home about especially your first book, guys, you may look back on it in a year and be like, oh, it's okay, but I know I could have done better. Gideon, how do you feel about the first book that you published? Do you wish you could redo it some now that you've learned a
Oh
bit
yeah,
more?
yeah. I have definitely learned a lot over the series of books, and I feel like that each one still gets a little bit better. And yeah, looking back, you're like, yeah, that could have definitely been better. But that's part of the learning curve. And the
I
thing is that
know. I would love to rewrite my first one, but
and,
so many people have read it now that I feel like I'd destroy the story if I tried. So
yeah, but yeah, and the thing is that just because you publish something doesn't mean that you can't go back and tweak it and make it a little bit better. You always have
yeah.
that option.
And I actually encourage authors to do that, especially looking for like typos and stuff. Once a year, open your book back up and give it a read yourself. And those typos, believe it or not, you'll be like, I know I've read this book at least 100 times. How did that get through? It happens.
It does happen. It's all part of it. But yeah, it's some really good advice, JD.
Let's see. We still got some time. See, Gideon, your first book was Awake in the Shadows, right?
Yeah, it was Awake in the Shadows, and I think I published it December of 24 was when that one was published.
And
And
guys, you can tell he wasn't thrilled with himself because we just got the sequel.
just 1 year later, Well, maybe a little over a year later, but
And how
yeah,
many books
finally
in
got it.
between?
Uh, one, two, three or four books in between before I got the sequel.
But we got it.
You got it. And the story that you got was not my original idea for the story either. The new story was actually came from my wife. Was her idea for the sequel to it, and actually that whole sequel and plot and everything kind of came about on our ride back home from Kansas City, where me and you first met. So,
I won't embarrass you with my favorite part of that story.
I'll getting pulled over by the cops.
Or as you put it to me, you decided to pull over for the police.
Yeah, I decided to pull over for him. Yeah, if you're on the way back and you're traveling and there's a cop uh, in the lane next to you, do not switch lanes and cut them off, especially if your tags are expired and you don't
Sound
know
advice.
it.
See, guys, we're here for more than just publishing and author stuff. Gideon's got life advice for
Yeah,
you. Well, I know that my first book that I published was Alone, and it actually ended up having four more books behind it. And I actually published it 7 years ago, guys. And I understand how easy it is to hit that publish button and just walk away because I didn't start really doing anything till about a year and a half ago, getting on the social media and promoting it and learning all the things that made it better. It's gone through a cover redesign and all kinds of things. And I still wish I could redo parts of it, but it is being read by people, which is why we write these books, is to get those stories out there.
I like it just the way it is.
I liked Awaken the Shadows just the way it is.
But yeah, there are going to be some tweaks to some of my books, especially some of the covers coming up uh, as I'm migrating some books over to Ingram. But nothing really major or anything, though. Just some little minor tweaks here and there.
And guys, that's something else for new authors is you have options when it comes to printers for your books. And the easiest and most cost-effective one is Amazon because they'll give you the free ISBN, which if you don't know what that is, I'm sure we'll do a whole episode on that because it's a learning curve in and of itself. But you have Amazon, they're the most cost effective, but then you have other printers like Ingram where you can get different types of print, quality print. You have printers that'll do sprayed edges for you or foiling on the cover. There's so many options out there. It's easy to get overwhelmed with what you can do.
Yeah.
So
And
the
then,
most important thing is to take a breath and remember that you don't have to have a book that looks like it belongs in a glass case and should never be touched. It's so pretty. Because
yeah.
I have seen authors fall into that trap.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that I've seen too is that where new writers think that the book has to be 100% perfect, and then they spend 2 years going back through and constantly editing or trying to edit while they're writing, and then it takes them 2 or 3 years to finish the book, and then by the time they get done, then they're still not even happy with it.
Yeah,
And
don't get nothing is going to be 100% perfect. I don't care if you spend 10 years going over that. Every author goes through it. You're going to hit publish, you're going to get that first copy, and it never fails. Gideon, tell me if I'm wrong. The first page you open to, there is the typo.
sometimes that happens.
It's gonna happen. It happens to all of us. And the kind of joke we have going through the author community is, yes, that's a typo, and it proves I wrote it, not AI. So,
And but yeah, I mean, the thing I always tell everybody is just get the story down on paper and get it finished, and then you can always go back and edit it later. And but one thing you can't do is you can't edit a blank page.
No, you can't. And I
So you got
know
to get it wrote.
I'm a pantser. I go in with no outline, guys. So whatever happens in the story, I'm just as surprised as my readers when it's happening. But when I finish, that's when I go back through and make all my edits. I don't try to do it while I'm writing because I'll lose the story. And I that's the part I need to get out. I can fix everything else later.
Yeah.
And the other thing I really recommend is something that trad publishers will find for you, but as an indie author is a little bit more difficult, is find one or two people that you can really trust who will give you an honest opinion to read over it for you, to look for those typos or to look at you and go, hey, I think you left part of this story in your mind because this doesn't make sense to me right here. That is the biggest hope. I know I have my husband and a couple of close family members. I know Mrs. Gideon reads all of his stories.
Yep. And all the things you just said, I have heard from her at one point. Hey, come here. What? What does this mean? Then I explain it. Well, how am I supposed to know that? Or hey,
As an
what
author,
was
it
you
makes
thinking?
sense
What was you thinking? Why did you even put this?
because we knew
But
the
that's
rest
what
of
you.
it in our head.
Yeah.
So it read correctly to us.
But that's the kind of feedback that you need. You need somebody that'll be like, yeah, this don't make sense, or you need to swap these around, or that kind of stuff.
And having those people that you know you can trust and who will be honest with you because they want the book to be just as amazing as you do, that is priceless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
So
Gideon.
just stay after it, stay at it, and just keep working towards your dreams.
And guys, if you're an indie author who is getting ready to publish your first book, make sure to drop that for us in the comments as well because I want to check it out.
Absolutely.
I have this whole library behind me. Fill it up. Bring it on.
I think you need more shelves.
I do. I do. Coming soon to JD's life, more shelves.
But again, we thank you guys for joining in, stopping in to hang out with us, and let us share a little bit of our knowledge with you. And again, make sure that you're following us, Kindred Pens, on YouTube, or on Spotify podcast, and also on Nighthawk Radio on Saturday evenings at 7 Eastern. And make sure if you have any questions or comments or anything you want to know, make sure you're dropping them in the comments for us. We are constantly looking to read the comments so we can see what it is that you want to hear. And that's what we're here for. We're here for you guys. And so help us help you.
Yes. Because believe me, the two of us can talk about everything indie publishing forever, but we want to talk about what you want to hear. So give us a direction.
Yep, absolutely. So again, just want to thank you all for being here. And tune in next time and we'll see what topic we have for you next time around.
We'll either have a suggestion or we'll come up with something we think they'll be fun. Can't wait to see
Yep,
which one it is.
absolutely.
All right, guys, again, thank you so much. Make sure that you, like he said, hit the subscribe. You can also find us on the TikTok. And if you don't want to leave your question down there because you don't want anybody to know you had to ask it, our email is attached. So shoot us an email. I'm
Yep.
checking it all the time.
Or if you don't want to do that, find either one of us on TikTok, give us a follow, and shoot us a DM there. We'll be happy to answer your questions.
We have all the options available for you guys. Okay.
All right.
All right,
Thank
I
you
think
guys. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.